All right, welcome. This is a unboxing of a recently released game by VUCA, VUCA Simulations. I believe they're out of Germany. I picked up a number of their games after listening to a podcast from, I think it was a War Room. Picked up too many. But this one is called Traces of War. It looks like pretty much Russian front, as you can tell by the Panther burning and the, it looks like a T-34-76, I think, silhouette there. And it's made by Tetsuya Nakamura. Um, he's a Japanese developer, and actually I think this is in the family of a number of games he made, and originally in Japan, but then a number were picked up by Multiman Publishing, their A Victory series. Actually, I've got all those. Don't have the box for this. The first one I think we saw was, well, sorry about the glare, A Victory Lost, Ukraine, Crisis in the Ukraine, 42 to 43. I remember playing this game a whole bunch of times by email with a friend here. They followed that then with A Victory Denied, Smolensk, July to September 41. Same system, similar system. And then the latest thing that just came out, well, relatively latest, is MMP came out with, following that series, a Victory Awaits, Operation Barbarossa 1941. And it actually breaks it up, I think, when Tetsuya made it originally. If you look at the history, he made one for Army Group North, Army Group Center, Army Group South. And then this version brings them all together. And you can play separate army groups or the whole thing for that initial Barbarossa invasion. Yeah, there it should say Tetsuya down here somewhere. Yep, Tetsuya Nakamura. So I'm really excited. I want to get this series on the board. Unfortunately, I'm kind of held up with A Victory Awaits with a Vassal mod for that. But the other two are good, but I wanted to try the Victory Awaits. But then found this one came out, Tetsuya Nakamura, Traces of War. And I would say this is a similar system of his. Two-player game simulates intense fighting between Axis and Soviet forces in the Ukraine after the Battle of Kursk, August 43 to March 44. Obviously, then the pause, and then we had the Bagration, Army Group Center, and 44 destruction. But this is that battle. Major Soviet offensive launched. German mobile defense. Will the breakthrough be successful? Two maps. 303 5/8-inch counters, and then we got some round counters. Two sets of player aid sheets, a solitaire track sheet, nice, rulebook, and a six-sided die. Divisions for the Axis, core for the Soviets, monthly turns, 20 clicks per hex, 1 or 2 players, 3 to 6 hours playtime. Complexity 4, so not too hard, and it's interesting, they crank it up to a 9, so there must be solo specific rules in here, and they do mention, they give you a little historical period here. That's German, so that's why it's from Germany. Ist unser Hobby. Frieden ist unser Anliegen. I don't know what some of those words are. 2023, and a nice kind of box feel here. You see what the counters look like. So this is post-Kursk in the Ukraine, 1943, going into March of 44. So let's take a look at this. Got a rule book. We'll look at that in a second, but let's do our little check here. 14 pages, but we got historical notes here. So yeah, it comes in at about 12 pages. 13 pages. I think that's what the A Victory series. We'll look at that in a second. Two different colored D6s. Cool. Here's the map. Looks nice. Feels good. It's paper. Two of them, as we said. We'll look at those in a second. I don't know if there's a Vassal mod for this yet, but since they're paper, I can easily get them scanned. It looks nice. We'll come back to that. This is interesting. It's pretty. It's cardboard. Look at that. This looks like solitaire track sheet. Okay, I don't know which side you solo, but apparently this is specifically for Soviet reinforcement schedule. It may mix and match here. Nothing on the back. Oh, we got nice counters. Let's just get them all out here. And again, it's the rounded, not in a tree kind of thing, reasonably big. Let's get everything out here. Let's see what we got. Ah, that feels pretty thick. All right, let's work our way through this. Actually, we got player 8, and these aren't sheets. These are cardboard. That's interesting. Player 8 sheet A, two-sided. Player 8 sheet A, it looks identical, one for each player. Yep, they look the same. Player shape B, again, these are summaries of the rules. Oh, well, I guess you don't need the rules. You just kind of use these player age sheets. If we look at A, sequence of play, and then it walks you through. This is pretty much a sequence of play here. On the other side, we got our charts. CRT, negotiation for Luftwaffe support, I would guess. Oh, yeah, I guess negotiation with Hitler, Stavka, terrain effects chart. Okay, so that's pretty solid. Sequence of play and combat results, terrain effects, good stuff. Okay, and then an identical one. And then player age shade B, they talk about, these are almost the rules here. Supply, movement, combat. Let's see what's on the other side. Yeah, reinforcements, and they match the rules numbers. 8, 12. I guess if you combine this with the sequence of play, this is maybe all of the rules here. That's interesting. Take a look at that later. Let's look at the sheets here. These are obviously Soviets. My guess is the darker red ones are guards, or that type here. We'll see what the counters mean. I'm guessing the last number is movement. Infantry, mech, etc. We flip them over. Yep, they're reduced strength. Reduced strength. Okay. So those are the Soviets. Here's the Axis. Obviously, there's more Soviets. I guess the black means SS. Okay, that's probably Luftwaffe, blue. And again, the reverse side. And in thick, nice solid thick and big and rounded. Don't need your counter clipper for this, possibly. It'll probably pop right out, but I'm not going to test it. Well, here's some additional units for both sides. Mainly armor. And we got our special marker. Oh, armies. Yep, this is the important thing in the victory series, is you activate by these armies, and then units within range can do stuff. Out of supply Soviet control, air support, isolated, Luftwaffe, etc. Okay, nice counters. Yeah, VUCA is known for a really high production value. All right, so that's the counters. Let's go ahead. We'll save that for last. I can't find the rules. Hold on. I'll say we look at the map, but then I won't find the rules. Oh, there they are. Okay, hold on. Here we go. The rules. Nice picture of a panther on fire. T-34 is driving by. So here we go. Scale. Each hex is 20 clicks. Each turn is a month. Combat our divisions and corps. Let's see. Here we go. Talk about the forces here. Side symbol. I guess we need to know that. They're Soviet. Combat strength movement. So it looks like a standard combat movement, although some units have a higher attack and it's Panzer here. And I think they're doing that alternate counter thing you can do. I've seen in the MMP where you can either get the counter with a tank silhouette or with the armor marker. Yep, with the NATO symbol. Cores. Yeah, so it looks like standard combat movement. Ooh, that's pretty fast, 10. And armor units, it looks like, have higher attack and then a lower defense. Hence we get the slash. Infantry cav, mountain, airborne, or Fallschirmjäger, whatever you want to call it. Let's see. Well, let's see here. We got. Yeah, it's pretty standard. I'm curious how this compares to the player aid card. And then they jump right into HQs, which are critical in this system. HQs must be in supply, be in an EZOC, only one per hex. This is units within range of the activated HQ can then move. And they use command chits. So we're going to do the cup kind of chip pull thing. Yep. Different things we can throw in though. Other command chits, OKH, Soviet Airborne. Other things can happen. Oh, right here, command range example of play, right out of the box. There it is, 6. That's my guess, that number is their range. Yeah, command range. And I think if I remember from the other games, I'll have to verify, they don't necessarily have to be in this unit. It's just all units within 6. But I could be wrong. Player aid sheets, TEC, terrain effects, combat results. Negotiation points for the Axis. Preparation for play. And we got that on the player aid sheet. The sequence of play. Let's pull one of those out and see what we get here. Player aid sheet A. There you go. Looks the same to me. Got a turn 1 special rule. Luftwaffe reorg. Command chit selection. A little more detail here, so you do have to read them, but I'm guessing that's a good summary. And then the special chits and their options. Two or more friendly units in the same hex is called stacking. Stacking limit is checked at the moment reinforcement units are placed on the map in whatever unit. Maximum 2 combat units and 1 HQ. That's it. Axis allies can be stacked in any combo. HQs can't be stacked with other HQs. Makes sense. Zones of control. Zones of control extend across all major river hexes. Wow. Okay. Luftwaffe air support. Yeah, you can get some air support in the Luftwaffe reorg. Here's our supply. And if you're in supply, you're fine. If you're out of supply, attack strength reduced by 2, can't be negative. And if you're isolated, attack and defense reduced by 2, movement allowance is halved. I don't think there's a surrender here, I'm seeing. They're just cut you off and make you weak here. Here's a supply line example play, very helpful. We got normal movement, strat movement, strategic, and enemy zones of control, 2 MPs, 2 movement points, okay? I don't think they have anything about moving from one to another. HQs can voluntarily relocate, X and 5 MPs. And then it just shows you hex A. That's going to cost 1, 2, 3 probably. 1 plus 2. 1 MP for moving to a clear hex, and plus 2 for leaving an EZOC, and another plus 2 for entering. Ooh, I kind of missed that. Leaving an enemy zone of control and entering are separate. Entering or leaving a hex. Wow. So yeah, that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Timely example of play. An Axis infantry. And you got another example of play here. And then they talk about combat. Term attack defense, calculator ratio, air support, modify for terrain, and then look at the CRT. Here it is on our handy dandy player aid sheet. It looks like attacker loses 1 and R maybe retreat. Interesting. If you put this here, you should at least maybe explain the results, but I'm sure it's here. Ratio shifts. Oh, you can get some shifts in here based on terrain. Look at the terrain effect chart. Yep, there we go. We see that. It's on the terrain effects chart, the combat results. Combat effect on combat. And then we have advanced after combat. If it's empty, they may advance 1 or 2. Non-mech, advance 1. Mech can move 1 or 2. And HQs can go with them. Okay, great. Interesting. They don't. I'm trying to look for. Well, it's not there, but. And here they give you a long example of play of combat. That's handy. Handy. And then reinforcements. Holy smoke, we're at optional rules. Yeah, 12 pages. 12 pages. Reinforcements. And drawn the first time. Available in reinforcement sheet is drawn the 6th time. Holy smoke. Looks like each time you gotta keep track of this stuff. That's Soviet. Axis reinforcements. Gotta negotiate for them. And then special rules. Turn 1. Crossing points. Victory conditions. Optional rules. Bid for VPs. Conversion of Soviet HQs. Ukrainian military front version. Higher combat and movement. Oh, that's interesting. And then we're in the historical notes on what happened. Apparently, this is where they got. They did just take Odessa. And they're starting, I think this is Romania here. Started moving in there. So that's as far as they got. And then, of course, that set it up for later in 44. Summer of 44 in pair with the D-Day invasion, Operation Bagration. Oh, but they did also close up here. Looks like the relief of Leningrad during this period. Okay. And they break it up into 2 steps. So got some historical reading there. That looks good. And that's the end of the rules here. So, yeah, I find these charts interesting. They're more detailed than normal, and they're made out of cardboard. But I guess when you become familiar with the game, you can pretty much, this is all you need, these 2. 1 for each player. But again, this is that same victory system. They're not perfectly identical, obviously even different manufacturers, but similar rules. So if you learn one, you learn them all. Now I did save the map. Let's look at it. The 2 maps. Here they are. Let's see what they look. Oh, there's Odessa. This must be the Western map. And I'll open up as much as I can with my current setup. I apologize, but this is the Ukraine and southern Russia. You can see down here the beginnings of the Crimea Peninsula. That must be Kiev, I'm thinking. Yeah, it's spelled with that K-Y-I-V spelling that we've been seeing in the news of recent. Kiev. So we do have Kiev on the map. We have the Dnieper, Bug River. Holy smoke, it's all there. Going back to Barbarossa there. Got some command pool chits, etc. Luftwaffe box. So that's the western one, and then here's the eastern one, where things start. Oh, and you got setups. Yep, this is kind of common to this too. I don't know if they're exactly unit setups. Kharkov. Yeah, we start here at Kharkov. Interesting spelling there. I think it's using the. Well, that's the Cyrillic. That's the name of their language. There's Nepritovsk, whatever. Stelino. So yeah, there we go. And then the different setup in the front line looks like it's here. And we don't really, the Crimea doesn't come into play for this one, I don't think. Let's see. Yeah, this is just the beginnings. It's going to be further down here. So we don't have that there. And then we've got some stuff here. So hopefully get this one going with Vassal if it's not already created. Nice, these are nice maps. They have a interesting texture too. So they look good. Yeah, graphics are good too. So, yeah, and I think people are already playing this game. But there you go. Traces of War. VUCA simulations, high production value. That's what I always hear about VUCA. They're out of Germany. So good stuff. Tetsuya Nakamura, I think, converting and continuing his what I'd call his victory series here. So Again, now you get a number of games using that same system. And here we've got a victim denied, a victory lost, a victory awaits. These are from MMP. But then our game of interest today is, of course, Traces of War, Post-Kharkov, Southern Russia, Ukraine, Tetsuya Nakamura. So, thanks for watching. Comments appreciated. If you like, click like. And if you haven't already, subscribe so you know when the next one comes out. But see you at the next recording. Thanks for listening.